What the heck is this? Well, it's an awkward title screen with some oddly ominous music that does not feel very Pac-Man related. This can only be Pac Man World 3. If you thought that was crazy enough, do we want to load a save game? No, because we're just going to be starting just for this rant. We're going to do it on normal. Yeah, look how gritty Pac Village is. It's not colorful like it was in the second one. It looks kind of more bland. Also like someone needs to mow. And if you thought that was it, yes! Yes, voice acting! Who doesn't love some Pac-Man voice acting? I'll be honest, it's actually really not that bad. I didn't mind it. I like having a voice to my characters. Oh, Pac-Man's all about that cake. Let's go. All orange. He's I think it's kind of neat how they base it around saying he's turning 25. Because, hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm 24, man. Well, not 24 yet. I'm about to turn 24 next month. That's crazy. I'm almost as old as Pac-Man was in this game. 25 is not old. Which, now he'd be about, what, 45 almost around? Wow. His Pac sense is tingling. But I liked how they based around like his real life age in the game is aligning with how old he was when it was created. Kind of wild. He's not doing anything. Yep, this is a Pac Man World rant. He is playing the original Pac-Man arcade cabinet. Is this game breaking the fourth wall? Like realizing that he is just a game? I'm a little confused. Why did Pac Village get far less colorful? And what is that big area in the distance? That was not in Pac Man World 2. Where's the tree with the golden fruit? Are they not concerned at all about keeping spooky under wraps? It's like, what happened here? It's like everyone moved out and stopped caring. Better than its 20th. Again, I think it's funny how they call back to Pac Man World because that was celebrating his 20th. What I hate is that the second game to me was the best game in the series, and it got the least amount of love in the series, I feel like. Because the third game really tried to call back to the first one, and like with some of the story and the plot and the elements and different like little jokes here and there. I wish they had done more for the second game. Visually, the game looks good. Like, it looks smooth and crisp. I like the models. I don't have anything to complain about there. Yeah, into a pit. The voice acting gets some people, so they don't really like that. The game is oddly gritty for a Pac-Man, like a platformer game. Oh gosh, Orson. I do appreciate how kind of witty and snarky Pac-Man is. Like, I like this personality. I'm fine with him talking. If he talked and was just some vanilla moron, it would be frustrating. But because he has a pretty natural sense of like the hero where he's kind of oblivious to things and he's not as afraid as he should be, but he also like feels inconvenienced, like he doesn't want to. It's not like he's just running in aimlessly. I don't know. It's just a good balance. I don't know how to explain it. The other thing that people don't like about Pac Man World 3, the combat. Yes, Pac-Man punches and fights. He's throwing combos. You thought those boxing gloves were just for the looks? Wrong. I don't really like what they did with the butt bounce. It's okay. This game feels tighter, but not in the way that I like. A lot of times when you hear people say, "Oh yeah, the controls feel so tight." Yeah, they like it when it's tight. I don't. Not in that way. You guys know what I mean. It just feels too tight. Like there's not enough. I don't know. It feels too restricted maybe. Like the gravity feels a little heavier. Like Pac-Man, especially after the first two games, we know that Pac-Man's kind of a floaty character. Like he's got a good jump. He needs to be able to jump higher and linger in the air more. He's just a little round ball, little lemon ball, man. It just feels a little odd. I don't know why. I can't really describe it. It just is. And they really try to throw the combat in your face at the beginning, but you just kind of are mashing the B button a lot. You can also do your butt bounce. I don't like, though, how they limit you to doing it 3 times, because that was one of my favorite things to do in Pac Man World 2, was to just aimlessly bounce around just for fun. Just keep spamming that and bouncing around. You can't do that, so, you know. There are different collectibles you can get down here. In this area, but in general, the collectibles are like, you know, there's pack dots, but pack dots are just for your score, which on one hand, cool, because Pac Man World 2, man, I hated having to collect every pack dot. Like, there were some levels towards the end of that game where it just got tough to do that. And then there were, you know, some that was okay. So on that hand, you know, cool. There are 25th anniversary Pac-Man statues. Those are pretty fun to collect. Those aren't too bad. It's mostly just for, like, art and bonuses and extras. Nothing crazy like, oh my gosh, wow, it's so worth collecting. Oh my gosh, I can't stand the thought of missing out on this. The fruit, you also, you know, there is fruit to collect, and it'll tell you there's a certain amount in each. No tokens in the game, though. No arcade, man. I don't know about you, but I feel like that was a pretty underrated part of Pac Man World 2. The fact that you also, like, you could work towards building your arcade and collecting different pieces to put in there and play from the old Pac-Man games. That felt like it was just something a little extra. Like something that they didn't have to do. Like the fact that it's not in 3 doesn't hurt 3, doesn't make 3 a bad game, but would it have been a little bit cooler had they thrown that in there? And maybe thrown in some other Pac-Man versions, like some other additions that we didn't see in Pac-Man World 2. I don't know. They could have just done something. They could have done something to make it a little different and stick out a little bit more. I don't feel like enough effort was thrown in there. It was just really odd, and I think 3 was pretty controversial, and I hate it because I feel like 3. This also, that reminds me of the Iron Giant. It looks like that big Iron Giant statue. I feel like maybe if also, I like how there's no voice right there for that. Just, you know, I guess that's meant to be his thought, maybe. Like he's thinking that, but he's not saying it. I don't know. A little weird. I just feel like if the third game had done better and been more positively received, then maybe we'd already have a remake for 2 and 3. Like it would have happened sooner. The games would have gotten brought back in some collection. Like because of the way that 3 ended, I feel like they're almost just like, I don't know. I feel like maybe Namco is thinking, well, maybe we don't want people to remember these. And maybe that's why I'm really sad. Maybe that's why they've only remade the first one. Because if they remake the second one, then it'll only make sense like 2 out of the 3 people will be like, okay, you've remade the first and second one. Then it'll feel like they're upsetting fans of the third one. And like they might not get it. You know, they'll be left out or be picked on if their game doesn't get remade. And honestly, screw them. They don't. I'm just kidding. I feel like they could if they really want to. It'd be risky, and it might not do as well. A lot of people, like, I can see how they might look at Pac Man World 3 and be like, yeah, that's kind of a risk to remake it and hope that it does well and sells. But you never know. You know? You never know. And if they changed a lot about it and redid some of it, polished it up, it could actually be doable and pretty playable. Also, one thing, so I went to save the game, and I looked up a couple stats. I don't normally do real heavy editing style on these type of videos. Just kind of talk, you know, raw emotions, feelings about games, kind of, you know, go through. Basically, I learned, and I had heard this somewhere, but I didn't remember it until I looked up and it refreshed me. This game was not developed internally by Namco, and it was actually the first one, I believe, not to be, like, first ever Pac-Man game, like a Pac-Man title, not just a spin-off or anything, like a game not developed by Namco in-house. They've made it, or sorry, they actually handed over the reins to Blitz Games, which I believe, if I remember correctly, was a Canadian company. Not that that has anything to do with it, but if you get mad at the game and you don't like it, then I guess you can blame the Canadians. And if you do like it and you're one of those, you know, people in that cult group, that really I don't know. It is a cult classic, but I don't want to call the fans of the game a cult. Like, it's a cult classic, so if you like the game, you're in a cult. There are some games I would definitely say that about, but this game it doesn't deserve that much hate. It's different, yes. There's definitely some games I've played before that were just like, why? Why do you have to be so trash? This is awful. This one's not like that. This one's just like, A fun thing is, like a little fun fact, I had almost the entirety of the game recorded and played through, and was going to do a series of it on my channel, and I got towards the end and I was just like, I don't feel like this is my best stuff. Like, I wasn't really enjoying it. I was playing through it more so just to beat it, and I was using that as an excuse to put it on the channel, but I just wasn't really a fan. It's interesting, yes. I think Pac-Man fans should play through it at least once just to kind of get a feel and create their own opinion on it. But if you're just a casual Pac-Man fan, if you're not hardcore, if you're not someone that really cares about playing every game in the series, you just want to play the fun ones, the ones that are worth your time, you're kind of just dipping your toes into the series, don't spend time on it, man. Don't go out and buy it unless you find it just really cheap somewhere. But these days, I don't know. Again, PS2, you can probably find it much easier. And it is on the Xbox, which I've actually never seen on the Xbox. I don't know why. I don't know how the Xbox edition looks. But I've played it on GameCube and PS2. But it's just so hard to find GameCube games these days, man, for like reasonable prices. With Pac-Man, I don't know. Maybe you could. It might be one of those series that for some random reason people just decide to rate it really high. I'm going to see if I can cheese it in RevRoll. Oh, gosh. Nope. It decided I couldn't do that. Orson, who made these robots? A nasty creep named Irwin. Oh gosh. If you hate chocolate and kittens, man, I'll be honest, I was never a cat guy growing up, but kittens are different. You can't hate cats. Plus, I have a cat now, so now I am a cat guy. I'm a proud cat father, I can say that. I have a cat named Peach, and she's a little sweetie. Speaking of, after this video, I'm gonna go play with my little cat. I got her some more cat toys. I got her a little cat tunnel. It's kind of fun to play with. She really loves it. She loves running in and out because it's one of those, the mistake I made was it's one of those little collapsible, like foldable ones, and she loves to just run along the side of it and mess with it, and it likes to make noise. I'm confused. Am I not? Okay. I'm not close enough. My bad. Yeah, this game is, it's interesting. I don't know how much I'll play. At least this first level, maybe the second one. I usually play about an hour, 45 minutes. Just kind of depends. Some of these levels are a little long. At the beginning, I don't remember it being super long, but there definitely are some long parts about the game. Ooh.
Details of my sector's energy should be between me and Miss Pac. Thank you very much.
See that? I love that. I love that. That's so fun. I love that they can throw in jokes like that. Like, when the people that say, oh, man, that's so weird, they voiced Pac-Man. First of all, I never understand why in games, like, they did the same thing with Mario Sunshine. Mario Sunshine is another game that I really love, near and dear to my heart. That one of the main reasons why people hate it is because of the voice acting. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. You can't just do voice acting in a Mario game. Oh, you can't do voice acting in a Pac-Man game. Leave these characters alone. They shouldn't have voice. It's like, why? I feel like when they have voices, they're more relatable. You can show personality. Now, yes, there are ways to show personality without using their voice. See Link and Legend of Zelda. Oh, gosh. There was a little lip up there that I couldn't jump over. This should be it. When you collect... Oh, no, there's one more. Oh, there's two more. Get him, get him. That should be it. That should be it. There we go. He needs a mint for these ghosts. That's funny. They're in a bad mood. So basically, the gist of the game, I guess I can talk about that. The gist of the game, Orson, who created Talkman from the first Pac Man World game, he basically teleports Pac-Man in here to help him out with his problem, which is that the spectral realm is in danger because Irwin, this kind of bad guy, egomaniac, genius, is basically trying to take over and I think siphon it for power, if I remember correctly. There's also a collector's card. If you complete all of them, then you will get a set. And so, yay, that is good. It's fun. You want to complete all your sets. Basically, he's endangering the ghosts, and they have no home. One thing that I will say, I don't think we're going to get far enough in this video to talk about. One thing that I do actually appreciate about the game that it tried, like I remember playing it as a kid and being like, whoa, this is cool. I would have never expected this. The first time you get to play as the ghost, you get to play as Blinky and Pinky, which in this game I don't know if they fixed it. You might still play as, they might still call it playing as Clyde, which is a little frustrating because, come on now, it is literally the name of the most iconic ghosts, like the ghosts and Pac-Man. Obviously, you're not going to mess up Pac-Man's name, so the next thing is to get the ghost names right. Surely you can do that, and I guess they proved that they could not. And so that was a little annoying. I don't know if they, and the thing is, they messed it up in Pac Man World 2, but I don't know if they kept it, like if they just messed it up again in 3, or if they decided to like, oh, well, this is what we call them in the second game, so we don't want to confuse people, and we don't want to, you know, make it look like we did something wrong, so we'll just, you know, keep it for continuity's sake. This is something I'm not huge on. These mazes feel more like a chore and just something to do. There's really nothing fun about them. They look like, at first you're like, oh, this looks kind of cool. Like it's a cool futuristic looking maze. But like in Pac Man World 2, they were kind of modeled around the different levels you were in, and it felt more individualistic and iconic. In here, they are kind of just bland. Like, there's really no other way to put it. It's just bland, which is how this game is, in a nutshell, is bland. It's bold, but it's bland somehow at the same time. Also, yeah, if you let that beetle run around, the beetle will lay more dots, so you can't complete the maze. The mazes are kind of lame. There's not much to them. They're kind of poo-poo. We finished the level. Let's see. I'm just going to put my name in as how I feel like this game is. There we go. We're good. So some more interesting things. Sorry, I was trying to find more things to talk about that were worth noting. So it looks like, according to the Pac Man Wiki, which I would hope would be correct because it of course is the Pac Man Wiki, it looks like they did get the names right in this game. It looks like it is Pinky and Blinky. So the two ghosts that they have, Orson has captured, are Inky and Clyde, which again is the orange ghost and the blue one. This pellet, it's a little like, you can wrap around them and you basically automatically can yeet them away out of existence. So you can do big circles to get everyone in. You can do a bunch of tight circles. You just have to make sure that you complete your loop, or else C doesn't work like that. So it really does nothing until you finish the loop. This game, you can tell, has a very heavy emphasis on combat, more so than probably what it needs to. It's probably not that big of a deal. But they really were like, yeah, we want to make it look like there's got combat. I think because it was, you know, it was the 2000s. First of all, everyone had platformers, so why not? I mean, I'm glad they gave Pac-Man a platformer. It was the era of platformers. Everyone was getting one. But they're like, oh, Pac-Man needs one. And then games started to get a little grittier. You know, people wanted these darker, you know, people wanted Twilight Princess, man. They wanted dark and gritty and serious. And so they decided, oh, yeah, we'll give Pac-Man a dark, gritty, serious game. And it just didn't, I feel like it didn't last. Like, you know, it felt like it wasn't his identity. It wasn't his shtick. It wasn't his thing. Like, that's not what he did. There was no reason for it. You can do that with some characters. You can give them maybe darker games. But Pac-Man is not... Pac-Man's not one of those characters that you can do that with. It just doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel right. And the thing that I don't like about this game is there's no Blade Mountain, man. You can't ice skate. How sad. You can't ice skate. You got a rev roll up here. This is pretty similar to Pac Man World 2. The rev rolling feels a little odd too. Like it's not as in a straight line. Like it's harder to turn. Again, the controls, the camera is not great, but then again, it wasn't that great in Pac Man World 2 either. That was one of Pac Man World 2's few flaws. Yeah, it's just a lot of punching and bouncing, and that's really it. The most fun parts of the game are when you're actually platforming and exploring the areas. The areas themselves are not that memorable because, again, they decided to make them dark and gritty. It's like a bunch of ruins and temples and the desert and like I think there's like a volcano area. The spectral realm when you're in there is kind of neat. There's a couple, areas in there that I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool looking. And then the gameplay just starts to be complete doo-doo. And there's more mechanics later on that are worth talking about, but not at the very moment, not enough to make it, I need to keep playing all the way in there. I'll probably try to just finish out this level or, get most of the way in. But yeah, these levels do get kind of long, so that's my only thing is like wrap around, eat them all, try to get as many as possible. 2 tight circles to finish them out. No more. Oh, there's one left, of course. Or maybe there's more and I missed. Oh, okay. Guess we're going to roll down here and see what's going on. Oh, it's just an extra life. But yeah, the game had its issue. It had its things that it did right. Like I said, playing as the ghosts, as Pinky and Blinky were like definitely a cool change of pace. It felt interesting. Also, there's an area where you can actually play as like in a Talkman suit, which is kind of neat. Because again, if you played the first game, there's lots of callbacks in here that you'd be like, oh, that's kind of neat. Except for if you look at Pac Man World and you look at Pac Man World 3, they are not even remotely the same. It is so vastly different. And even more so from the second game. It's like, the world in World 2, it's like, okay, I can kind of see it's more of a 3D, like World was kind of a 3D, 2D, like it was a 3D game, but it didn't probably utilize it as much as it could have. The camera was definitely from a 2D perspective. And, World 2 kind of took those same types of formulas and just kind of expanded on it. And World 3 was like, hey, we're going to take that and throw it out the window. Instead, you're going to get Pac Man World 3. Hope you like combat. Hope you like punching and combos. Oh, also, don't worry, we'll give Pac-Man a voice too. Which, again, as I've stated, when I bring that up, it's more so just to state the fact that there are people that are upset about that. But I think it's redeemed because of how intelligent and personable he is. Like, it makes Pac-Man feel less like this odd creature from this video game that is just like this face and this person, this thing. And it's more like, oh, he's a relatable character. Like, he's some kind of creature, but he's relatable. Like, he's got very a human-like sense of humor. And it's kind of funny because him making that joke about the energy in his sector, but keeping it between him and Ms. Pac-Man. For one, if it's Ms. Pac-Man, does that imply that they're not actually married? And if they're not married, why does she have his last name? Unless it's like a Smith thing, like they both have the same last name, Smith. Which first of all, I forgot how to get up there. Did I mess that up? Is there some way to, or maybe it's something you gotta, oh, I'm a dummy. Duh, I gotta go up this way. Yeah, you can climb these walls, which, you can't climb any faster. If you try to jump, then you just end up jumping off. Yeah, I bet this is over here. Yeah, there we go. These return from Pac Man World 2, the Pac.chain machine, but oftentimes you have to, I think sometimes you have to, get collectibles to activate it. Like, you have to get colored gems, I'm pretty sure. That took me up there, and this is actually not where I want to go. I was not ready for that. There's a watermelon. I want to get over there because there's a thingy over there. But I guess I'm not going to get to do it. Also, dang it, I fell. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, the areas are a little confusing. Okay, so here's this thing. Okay, okay. So that's how we get up there. Cool beans. There's also a statue here. The statues effectively, it seems like, take the place of the tokens. Is that where we came from, or is this another extra life? Like, which, it doesn't really say which way to go. Because we went up like that. There's maybe something up there, but then it also looks like... Hello, are you going to come back down? Hello? Hey, buddy. Can you, Hello? Maybe I shouldn't have rolled it up. Oh, my gosh. Maybe you're not supposed to move it up all the way. Is there a way to roll it back down? In the meantime, while I've messed that up and am making life difficult for myself, another thing to note is, does it move down? I thought it was going to be like an elevator, and there's no way. That doesn't seem right. There's got to be a way to make that move down or get up there. Also, I like how I didn't take any fall damage. Yeah, that makes 0 sense. I don't get it. Oh, I'm stupid. Big stupid. Oh gosh, man, I'm dumb. I was like, that's just so odd, because not everyone is going to remember that. Like, it makes sense that it's a platform you can jump up. It just seems weird to do it like that. I don't know. Seems a little counterintuitive. I don't know. Maybe I'm the odd one. I felt stupid because the game made me feel stupid, but I don't know if I really am stupid. Again, oh, you can't bounce on those because they have spikes. Pac-Man will go ow and then let out some weird ow. There's bugs. Maybe, but now I feel like I need to go see what was vibing back here. Like, there was an area over here. I also need this power up. Like, it's not really that clearest sometimes. So this is where I came from that area, so I need to see what's over here, because there were pack dots over here that I haven't got, so I know it's something different. Is there, maybe there's a Galaxian over here? Oh, yep, that's where the Galaxian is. Okay, so it's definitely, there's things sometimes you'll have to go out of the way for. Definitely check out your environments, make sure everything is like accounted for if you care. I will say I feel like the game would probably be a little bit more fun if you didn't worry about collectibles. I know some people might be mad at me for saying that. Like, oh no, if you play a game, you need to do all of it. You need to explore. You need to, you're encouraging people not to play parts of the game. But let's be honest here. I'm saying you can try collecting the collectibles if you want. But if it comes down to it and you're not enjoying the game and you're not having fun and you don't even feel like finishing the game, then just don't play it. Or if you're not wanting to play it, or I mean, sorry, let me rephrase that. If you want to play it, but you're like, oh, I feel like I want to play it and I really want to get through it, but I'm just playing it to play it, or I'm just playing it because, I want to complete the series, or, a friend played it or a buddy played it, or I saw this YouTuber play it. I mean, you can still play it, but maybe try not doing the collectibles. Try, just going through for main story. I know, like me personally, I'm always a collectible type of guy, but there have been a couple games in the past where I just don't play them for collectibles because it drags on the playtime, it makes it feel longer, and nobody wants to, play games like that. One thing to note, too, is that when you die, there's no sort of, like, reset. Like, everyone kind of stays in the same area. Oh, gosh. Yeah, you just keep going. I might actually lose this one because I can't get the ghosts out of the frickin'... I can't get them out of... Oh, my gosh. Really? I lost. That's a big bummer, man. Big bummer. Genesis leading the 16-bit... Sorry, I just saw a little commercial. I got my TV going on in the background. Just for fun. But yeah, there we go. That was it. Kind of, see, there's no real soundtrack too. Like, that's part of the Pac-Man charm. Look at it. I'm not adding anything to it. It's just ambiance. Just this weird, like, the sound effects for the most part aren't too bad. Like, they're kind of spot on. But it's like they didn't even bother to put in a score for the game. Like, there's one right there. But like why is it not in the entirety of the area? Why would you just want some areas that's just like, yeah, we don't need the music in there. It's really not vital. It's not that important to the game. It just kind of feels a little odd. Like why not add music in there? Music can't hurt. Like I feel like music can only help. Sure, if the music's not bad, at the worst, I guess you could have done more ambiance. But like even now, like I don't get it. Just some areas have it and some don't. I did think it was cool as a kid growing up, only having the 4 main ghosts. When I saw Orson and he was like a green ghost, I was like, whoa, there's a green one. It's like Power Rangers, like when they get a new color, it's like, whoa, it's the same thing but in a different color. Oh my gosh. But it looks like we're doing more of this. Let me just wrap you up real quick. Get you. Okay, I guess I got too close to him. He hurt me somehow. These definitely don't make you invincible. Oh my gosh. He's a red. Oh, okay, yeah. So you have to collect some crystals. Oh gosh, what the heck? Can we can I get a platform for my orange? Speaking of orange, I could go for some oranges, man. Some orange juice. I haven't had orange juice in a while. Boom. Okay, that didn't do anything to him. I thought even if they have spikes, I was like, well, maybe even if I don't land on them, I can like land next to them and see if the pack dot, or the bounce does anything. And no, that is not the case. Yeah, so some of these chains, like there's a little crystal you'll find, and it will help you power up that chain. And I believe there's a couple in this area. There's like a red one, a blue one, and a green one. So yeah. Ooh it, ooh it, ooh it, ooh it, ooh it, ooh it. I'm a little strapped for time. I wanted to finish this level, but I've got a meeting that I am really about to have to do, and I'm cutting it close because it's going to be in the next like 20 minutes, and so like I don't know. I would just do it afterwards, like come back and finish the video afterwards, but like I don't know if I want to come back just to play like 10 more episodes or 10 more minutes of this. But oh well, we'll see. I want to make sure that it's I want to make sure that it's like it's a good video, it's sound, and I get all my thoughts out, because I know with a lot of my rants when I go through here, it's just that I play it while I'm talking just to kind of jog my memory and just to kind of kind of grasp like what the game is again, and get like any feelings I have when I play the game or emotions. It's things like just talking about it, you can kind of, if it's a good game or if it's really good or really bad, you can kind of get that feeling. But in a lot of games, you also need to be able to play it and to kind of remember, like, oh yeah, I forgot I really like this part of the game, or oh yeah, I forgot this part of the game sucks. Yeah, see, there's a card up there. Oh, one thing I did make a kind of a slight error about. I guess I don't know if I was really wrong about it. I wasn't right in the entirety. I said that there's no like arcade with all of the different games. You're like, what is this? No music. This is so odd. Like it's almost it's more than odd. It's like in some areas it's unsettling. Like when the music just stops, I'm like, oh, did my game mess up? Is my GameCube like okay? Like you just hear this and it's like, oh, the background music, the soundtrack went out. Okay. Cool, I guess. But it's just weird. Like why do it like that? That's one of my biggest things with it. It just doesn't feel right. But I guess we can I don't know if can we jump up there? Nope, not yet. We can use the red crystal. See where it takes us, because I know there's a blue one and there's a green one. We see the green one up there. So that at some point I guess will get lowered, and we can see there's the start of the blue one right there. Maybe this will, what does this do? This will lower so we can get to the green one. Then I'm sure the green one will take us somewhere where we can get to the blue one. Oh. It lowers both. What is that? The monsters are climbing up and there's just no nothing. This is so awkward. It just like it's weird. At least it does one decent thing in the fact that it points the camera towards where you're looking at, like where you need to look at. I'm glad it does that, but this is a weird part of the game, man. Like, I'll be honest. I'm gonna take. We kind of missed where we needed to go, but I'm gonna take the green route now. Yeah. What? I was also gonna say something too before the music cut out and I got really distracted. Oh, what I was not really telling the whole truth on. There is no arcade with all the different games in there. However, there is a museum you can get and visit. Oh, I see. You got to take the green. Okay. Well, there's a little thing up there. You got to take the. Can we get? How do you get over there? We need to take that route. I see. So we need to jump over here. There is a museum that you can visit, and it does have the original Pac-Man to play, except for that the original Pac-Man is not really like the original Pac-Man. The original Pac-Man is not even like regular Pac-Man. It is Pac-Man, but with a couple differences. Some of the ghosts kind of act differently, like their behavior is differently. According to Pac Man Wiki, it looks like the text font is smaller than the original. Pinky and Inky move sideways in the ghost house instead of up and down. Pac-Man does not slow down when eating Pac Dots. Pac-Man does not gain an extra life at 10,000 points. Bonus fruit appears and disappears with a growing and shrinking animation. The orange is apparently miscolored red. And characters in the cutscenes move slower than usual. Also, the sound effect appears to be based on the common Namco Museum port, despite the code itself is not. So, again, a little odd. Like, I don't know why they used some of the code for the Namco Museum port. Or they didn't use the code, but yet they used the sound effects, supposedly. So, yeah, it's just odd. Like, all in all, it's just weird. Like, you're like, oh, let's bring back the OG Pac-Man, but it's not even regular OG Pac-Man. It's weird that they ported that. It kind of gives off, to me, it gives off vibes of when they did the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, and it was like, oh, this is the most definitive version of these Zelda games to date, and this is the way you need to play them. Except for the GameCube, it basically tried to port the GameCube. Or it tried to port the 64 version of the GameCube, and it was so bad. Like, it was just terrible. Like, the Ocarina of Time edition was okay. The saving took a long time, and it was kind of dumb. But that was like, okay, you could kind of get around that. The Majora's Mask version was just awful. It was like, gosh, this is easily the worst version to play of this game. And it was just so incredibly bad. But, that being said, I will say this is not that levels of bad. It's not, it could definitely be worse, but it's not. I like how I'm not even going for combat. I'm just kind of doing this whole thing. I'm probably going to end it here. I do need to, like I said, I do actually am in a little bit of a time crunch. I'll get this little statue real quick. But I will probably be picking this back up eventually later towards the end of the month, because I'll be doing a video on kind of more detailed, like what went wrong, less of a rant, more of like a review on the game, and so and so. I will put up in the top left corner will be a rant I did on Pac-Man 2 last week, and top right corner is going to be and the top right corner is going to be the latest video I did on Saturday, which was Pac Man World Rally revisiting it after nearly a decade. And that was an interesting time. Definitely check that out. Tomorrow, I believe it'll be tomorrow, I will be streaming more Pac Man World 2. And this coming Saturday, I will be having a video where I am going to be playing Pac-Man Fever, of all games, for the first time ever. A game that I've never touched. I've not even really seen gameplay of it. I just know it exists, and I don't know what in the world to expect. I think it's some kind of Mario Party-esque game, but we're going to find out together when I play it this Saturday. Thank you guys, and have an awesome time.